headed out from the 501 shelter. Pretty much camping around mostly the same people. There's one other lady and about 20 guys. And we just keep seeing each other at each shelter or campsite, or sometimes every other one, depending on where they camp, but we just keep running into each other. We need more ladies on the trail. You know, sometimes there's one other, but very rarely. Last night there were 12 bunks in the shelter, and then there were a good many people tent camping as well. I got the very last bunk. It was the top one, no steps to get up to it or anything. You had to kind of climb like a monkey, but I made it work. My stuff is not dry. I had to put on wet socks this morning. Wet shoes. My insoles were dry, and they're not as wet as they were yesterday. Yesterday I could have wrung them out. But we're expecting like 6 days of rain in a row, so this is going to be challenging. I'm trying to keep my feet from getting too pruny, and trying to dry out my socks, since I only have 2 pair of hiking socks, and then I've got my Injinjis that I only hike in once in a while with one of the other pairs. Sometimes you just have to hike in wet socks. At least right now it's warm, so I don't have to worry about sleeping socks or any of that kind of thing, where I don't need to keep my feet warm at night. So I just take off my socks and let them air out all night. In the wintertime, you have sleeping socks and put those on dry. They always have to be dry. You have to keep a dry pair of sleeping socks to put your feet in the wintertime to keep them warm. This is my trail. Not easy stepping over giant rocks. And when you put your poles down between them, the poles often get stuck in the rocks. It's like you just pick your trail, look for flatter rocks or an easier path. And hope for the best. It is slow going. Hoping for a 20-mile day to a campsite today, but if it keeps up like this, I will not be able to make 20 miles by dark walking all day. It's early. I just got to early start, about a little after 7, I think, but I've only gone maybe 2 miles so far. You average maybe a mile an hour in this stuff. And you have to be careful because some of these rocks can be a little slippery and they move also. Oh, this is a little better right here. I can actually get to the dirt with my feet and put my feet on flat ground. Some. Let's see where I can go here. good plan. This is the flatter rock over here. Kind of a view, a few clouds, but you can kind of see down below them. It's beautiful. Look at this. I have less than 1,000 miles to go to finish this. 1,200 miles in. Wow. So cool. Less than 1,000 miles. Oh, look, somebody put an arrow so you don't miss it. Nice, pretty campsite. Walking past. Let's see, this side. This is right beside the trail, 1755 site of Fort Detrick Snyder, a lookout post to warn of the approach of enemies in the French and Indian War. Very cool. What a beautiful frog. Look at that guy. Aha, check it out. 0.3 down this road is Trail Magic. Meals, snacks, everything. So I'm going off trail. 0.3, so it's a little ways. It'll be over a half-mile walk total, but hey, it's worth it for a meal. I already ate lunch, but I could use another lunch, second lunch. I see cars down there really far, glittering in the distance, so must be a parking lot right off the road. Give me a chance to dry my shoes and socks out a little bit more. It got sunny today for a little while, so I got my tent out, laid it out in the sun. Also took off my shoes and socks, laid them in the sun to dry. So right now my shoes and socks are nearly completely dry, not quite. Still a little humid there, but my tent's dry. So that's fantastic, because I am going to tent camp tonight. There's a shelter down, but it's not far enough down, I don't think. So I don't think I'm going to stay at the shelter. I think I want to go a little closer to town, because I do need to go into town. One of my trekking pole tips broke in the rocks. So I need to go to Cabela's, which is there, and buy some new tips and install them on my trekking poles. Here's the Trail Magic over there. Heading back up to where the trail from the Trail Magic. Had an amazing blue cheese bacon burger. It was so good. I'm so full. But I also got to meet Heather Anderson, the fastest known time. Heather Anderson, famous hiker that's written books that I've read. She was there at the Trail Magic. Really cool. I thought she looked a little familiar. And then she said something about doing the Shenandoahs in 32 hours. And I was like, wow, that took me a bunch of days. And then she introduced herself as Heather. And I figured out who she was and why she looked familiar. Back on the AT. Definitely worth the walk down there to the Trail Magic. But I'm so full now. I just had a wrap before I went down there. But I need the extra calories. Keep weight on. We're out of the really big rocks right now temporarily, hopefully for a while, so I can make some time up. I've only done maybe 11 miles today out of the 20 I was planning on, and it's probably 3 o'clock, I think. And then I just stopped. It took a long time to get my burger and everything, so that was a big time spent. And then I'd already stopped to dry out my tent in the sun and dry my shoes and socks out. Another big amount of time spent. So I'm kind of going slow today. I just talked to bail out Linda, and she is doing okay. They are having a viewing tomorrow, and then this weekend is the 4th of July, so they're not going to have the celebration of life over that weekend. They're going to wait and do it probably the following weekend. So she's going to be off trail for a while, and she's still trying to decide what she's going to do. She really wants to get back on trail and join me, but she's missed so much of it now. She's not sure how she's going to work out filling in the spots she's missed, especially this area up here where it's so far away from home. But she's still trying to make up her mind, and it kind of depends on how things go there too, I'm sure, with her family and everything that they're going through right now. Walking through a prescribed burn area, intentionally burned. Pretty small. You can kind of see the edge of it all the way around where the thick undergrowth is. Cute little chipmunk eating. Boy, your little cheeks are full. Going through rocks again. Watching for snakes. Passed by a rattlesnake earlier. I didn't see it, but the people behind me saw it because he started rattling at them. So I may have passed him right before the sun came out when it was still more chilly, and then he got up and started moving around, rattled at a bunch of other people that came by. I hate I missed him. I would have liked to have seen him from a distance. No rocks right now on the trail. It's really nice, soft dirt and mud. Very nice. I passed the shelter, and so there's 3 tent sites down here, and we'll see how far I can get before dark. They're all less than 5 miles away, but it is like 6:30. I think one's 1.5, one's 4, and then one's about 4.5, I think. So we'll see where I can get. All ferns. All the way around. So beautiful. That's an owl. Isn't it cool? Probably a barred owl, I would guess. Oh, this is a steep climb. And at the end of the day when I'm already tired, but at least I get to listen to owls. Quite see him over there, but he's close in those trees. Some deer over there. I just scared them. They were right on the trail. One was on one side now, one's on the other. They scared me too. They were so close. Oh, there it goes. Oh, isn't it pretty? Here comes the other one. Bye, guys. Oh, they stopped. They didn't go. Just came out on this road. The sunset's starting. It's beautiful. Doing some night hiking. I didn't quite make it to the last tent site where I wanted to go. I almost stopped at the next to the last one, but it's only a half a mile more. So I figure I'll just hike. And that'll make a full 20-mile day today, I think. It's a little harder hiking at night, but the trail's pretty visible, and every once in a while there's a white blaze you can see when you lift your head up, and you can kind of see that you're still on the right trail. It's a little lighter than it looks in my phone. I can actually see a little better than you all can see out here. There's a lot of rocks, which make it a little harder. But I don't have very much further to go to get to the tent site. And I think other people will be there too, because other people were talking about getting to this tent site. And I didn't see any of them in any of the other tent sites. I thought, well, maybe I'll stop if I run into them at the other tent sites. But I didn't see them, so hopefully they did go ahead and come out here. If not, I'll tent camp alone. But you can kind of see, I think you can still see the sky's not 100% dark yet. It's getting close though.